In this video, we are going to take a look at how we can create some amazing looking pop-ups in Gutenberg. And for that, we are going to use the pop-up builder block from the Plus Addons for Gutenberg. And with the help of that, we will be able to create off-canvas pop-ups, and we will also be able to create model style pop-ups. For example, for off-canvas option, let's check the demo. Here we have options like reveal content, which looks something like this, or maybe we can use the slide option, which looks something like this, or maybe we can use the push content like this, or maybe we can use the corner box like this one, or maybe we can use the slide along content. And if we take a look at the demos for the model pop-up, here are some samples with simple model pop-up, which looks something like this. And we can have image with text like this one. And we can also have a YouTube video embedded inside our pop-up. And we can also have iframes inside our pop-up like this one. So if all that sounds interesting and you also want to learn how you can build some amazing looking pop-ups for your WordPress website, then let's dive in. My name is Ankit Sharma from the team Posimyth, and if you want to deep dive in the world of WordPress using Gutenberg, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we upload our next video. So let's get started and dive in our WordPress backend. So here we are in our WordPress backend, and here if we go in the plugin section, we have the Plus Addons for block editor free as well as the pro version. And once we have installed both of these plugins, we can now go to Plus settings and then click on Plus blocks. And here we need to search for pop-up. And this is the pop-up builder block that we need to use to create all our Gutenberg pop-ups. So make sure you turn on this block and then click on save. And as you can see, it's part of the pro version of this plugin. So make sure you have the pro version of the Plus Addons installed and activated. So now we are ready to create our pop-ups. So here we have a simple WordPress website. We have a logo on the top left and a simple navigation on the right hand side. Now in the first example, we will build some off-canvas navigation using our pop-up. So we will be adding an icon here which we can use to trigger the off-canvas navigation. So let me show you how we will do that. So as we are using the Nexter theme and the pro version of Nexter extensions, we get Nexter Builder, which we can use to create our custom header and footer. So with the help of Nexter Builder, we have already created our custom header, which we will customize now. So let's click on edit. So here is our custom header. We have the logo on the left and the simple navigation on the right. Now we just need to add our pop-up just next to this navigation so that we will be able to trigger the off-canvas navigation. So let's click on these three dots and then choose insert after. And here we will search for TP pop-up. So this is our block TP pop-up builder. Let's click on this. And by default, it adds a button here. And as always, we can customize everything about this from our right hand side panel. So here in the layout section, we have the content type. So what type of pop-up we want to build? Either we can choose pop-up, slide, push content, slide along content, or corner box. So right now we are building an off-canvas navigation. So we will be using the slide type. So let's select this one. And the direction of this off-canvas navigation will be from the left. We can choose it from the right, top or bottom. But the most preferable one is from the left, as our button or the trigger button is currently on the right hand side. So let's choose left from here. And we can define the width of this off-canvas navigation. So by default, it is set on 300. We will leave it as it is, but we can customize that as per our requirement. The most preferred way is to choose percentage and then set the percentage like 33 or 25% so that it will be responsive for all the devices. And once we have set the width, below that we have an option for content type. So here we can choose a reusable block, we can choose a content box like this one, or maybe we can have an editor, or we can choose a short code as well. Now this short code and the reusable block are very similar to each other. So just to build up something really quick, let's choose content here. And this is the sample content which will be visible on our off canvas navigation. And below this we have selector. So if we click here, we have an option to choose either a button type selector, or we can choose an icon, or maybe we can completely hide this. So we are going to cover that in the later part of this video. Right now, instead of button, let's choose icon. And here we have some styles that we can choose from. So I will prefer the style number 3, or you can go ahead and choose custom and then upload your own icon image here. So right now we will go with style 3, and we can customize the icon width and weight and padding from here. After that we have display conditions. So this is the most important part, how we want to showcase our pop-up. So that will be handled from this option. So if we click here, we get a lot of option to control the opening of our pop-up. Right now we are creating an off canvas pop-up style navigation. So we need to choose on button click, which means if we click on this icon, it should open up the pop-up from the left. And below that we have a lot of options that we can choose to trigger our pop-up. But right now we will choose on button click. Once that is done, let's click on extra options. And here we have an escape button, close content. So we will have an escape button to close the pop-up, and we have the outer click close content, which means if we click anywhere outside the pop-up will get closed. So right now that option is also turned on. After that we have fixed toggle button. Right now it is turned off. So we will keep it off for now so that we don't have a fixed icon here on our page. So let's turn it off for now. And as always, to style this icon, we can go to our style tab here. And here the first option is content area, which means the area which will be opening up as a pop-up. So we can define the padding, the background color, and various other things. So we will cover that in just a few minutes. Right now we can customize our toggle icon, that is this one. So let's click here, and maybe we can change the background color depending upon our website theme. So maybe we can choose any color like this. And below that we have content scroll bar. So whatever pop-up that will open up, we can have a scroll bar inside that. So right now let's go ahead and update this and see how it is looking in the front end. So this is the front end of our site. Let's refresh it for once. And here is our toggle icon. Let's click on this. And now you can see we have a simple off canvas navigation pop-up which is opening from the left hand side. And here we just have a simple text because we have selected content in the styling. So now instead of this simple content, we can show a complete reusable block inside this. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll come back here in our layout section, and in the content type, instead of content, this time we will use reusable block. And here we have an option to choose the reusable block which are already created on our site. But if in case we have not created any reusable block yet, we can just choose this option, that is create reusable block. Let's open this in a new tab. And here we can create a new reusable block that we can use as our pop-up content. So let's say we name it off canvas menu, and for the content part, let's go ahead and copy some design from our plusblocks.com website. So here we come back to our pop-up builder page, and in our off canvas options, let's go ahead and click on demos. And here we have the slide style like this one. Let's go ahead and copy this design. And let's come back here in our reusable block and then paste our design here. So here we have a simple design for our content. Let's go ahead and publish this reusable block. And now let's come back here and let's click on update and then refresh this page so that we can load the newly created reusable block here. So let's refresh this page. And now if we come back here in our reusable block list, here we can see the newly created off canvas menu. So let's click on this and let's update this from here. And now let's refresh the front end one more time. Alright, let's click on this toggle icon. And now we can see our reusable block content added here. But right now it's not looking very good. So let's go back in our backend and do some styling for this one. So here we come back in our header template and in the styling. First, we need to remove the padding from the content area. That is this white area around our pop-up content. So once we set this to 0, so all that will be gone. After that, for the background, we will choose gradient. And we can set any color as we want from here. So let's update this now. And for our reusable block, let's click on this list view. And for our main container, we can reduce the top padding a little bit, like this one. And we'll go to style and remove our background color. Let's update this. And now let's refresh the front end one more time. Alright, now let's click on this toggle icon. And this is how our new off canvas pop-up will look like. We have all these icons, text and links here that we can customize in our reusable block. And we have a close icon here which we can use to close this pop-up. Or we can simply click anywhere outside this pop-up and that will close our pop-up. Now this one is for content type slide. We can choose slide along content as well. And let's refresh our front end. And if we now click on this toggle icon, our pop-up will open up and it will slide rest of the website content towards right hand side. We can also choose push content and here we can choose top. So let's update this and see how it looks. Our reusable block is not perfect for this type of pop-up, but let's see how it looks. So let's refresh the front end once again. And if we click on this toggle icon, here we can see our pop-up opening from the very top. Now this is how we can use slide and push content to create some off canvas pop-ups. Now let's go ahead and see how we can use the content type as pop-up. So let's select this one and here we can define the position of our pop-up. Right now it is set on center, which is the most preferable one, but you can play around with various directions here as per your design requirement. After this, we can set the width and height of our pop-up. Right now it is set to 300, so we will leave it as it is. And then we can define the position of our pop-up. Once again, we will leave it as it is, but you can play around with this as per your website requirement. After this, we have content type. Right now it is set on reusable block, but just to make it very simple, we will again choose content and we will use the sample content here. Once again, we will leave the selector type as icon and display condition, we will leave it on button click. Let's update this here. And let's refresh the front end. And now if we click on this toggle icon here, and here we can see our pop-up, which is right in the middle of the page with our sample content here. Once again, instead of this simple content, we can choose any reusable block. Or instead of reusable block, we can also choose shortcode. And the content which is linked to that shortcode will be displayed inside our pop-up. Now if we come back here in the display conditions, right now it is set on button click, which means the pop-up will only be visible once we click on this icon here. But if in case you want the pop-up to load as soon as the page loads, so here we can choose on page load, or maybe we can choose on scroll. So if we turn this on, we can set the offset pixel like 100 pixel right now. If we scroll the page to 100 pixel, the pop-up will open up. In the same way, we can also choose exit intent. So if we turn this on, The pop-up will open up as soon as we move the cursor closer to the close window. Let's try that here. Let's update this and refresh our front end. So right now we are not going to click on the toggle icon, but we are going to move our mouse cursor towards closing this tab. So as soon as we move our cursor towards the close button for this tab, we can see our pop-up opening up. So this is how we can use the exit intent. And when we are using options like these, we don't even have to show this icon here. So we can simply go to our selector section, and instead of icon, we can choose hidden, so that there will be no icon at all, because we are not going to click on that icon, and the pop-up will still open up once we met our display conditions, which is right now on the exit intent. If we update this here, and let's refresh the front end one more time. So right now we don't see any pop-up icon in our header, but still if we move our cursor towards the exit button, we can still see our pop-up working here. So depending upon our requirement, we can choose our selector. In the same way, we can choose after inactivity. And if we turn this on, here we have inactivity seconds. So whatever seconds we enter here, our pop-up will open up after that time of inactivity on the web page. So let's say if we enter 5 here, the pop-up will open up after 5 seconds of inactivity on our web page. In the same way, we can use X page views. So if the page view exceeds the number that we enter here, the pop-up will open up. And here is an interesting option, arriving from specific URL. If we turn this on, it's going to ask us a source URL. Now imagine a situation that you are running an advertising campaign and you want to welcome your visitor on your website, depending upon where this visitor is coming from. For example, if your visitor is coming from Facebook, you can show a different welcome pop-up. Or if your website visitor is coming from any other XYZ website, you can show a specific pop-up for that as well. Let's see how this one works. So right now we are on the home page of our website. Along with that, we have 2 pages, About Us and Services. So if we are on About Us page right now, and if we again click on home page, we want a pop-up which shows that you are coming from About Us page. In the similar way, if we are on the services page, and then if we click on our home page, we want a separate pop-up which shows that you are coming from the services page. So let's copy this About Us page link from here. And if we come back here in our Nexter builder, right now we don't have to do anything in the header. So we can go ahead and remove this pop-up builder from here. Let's update this. And now we can come back here in our pages and let's open our home page, because we want the pop-up to display on the home page depending upon from where we are landing on this. So at the very bottom of this page, let's go ahead and add a pop-up. So we will choose TP pop-up builder, and this is the default button. So we want the content type as pop-up. Direction will be center. We will leave most of the things as it is. Instead of reusable block as content type, let's keep it simple. We will choose content, and let's say for this one, we will type. So here we have a sample text. You are coming from about page. So using this, we will be able to show a pop-up if the visitor is coming from the about page. For the selector, instead of button, we will choose hidden. Because we are not going to do any click event, it's going to automatically detect our page source, and then it should show the right pop-up. In the display conditions, instead of button click, we will choose arriving from specific URL, and here we will paste the URL of our about page. Let's update this. And just to confirm if it's working fine or not, let's go ahead and add another pop-up. So we will duplicate this one itself. And in the display conditions, this time we will choose our services page URL. Let's paste it here. And for the content of our pop-up, we will change that to services. So now if the visitor is coming from the services page to our home page, the pop-up should read as you are coming from the service page. Let's see how it works. Let's update this from here and let's refresh our front end. So right now we are on the home page and nothing happens. Let's go to our about page. So here we are on the about page. Nothing happens here as well. Now if we click on our home page, it should open up a pop-up and the text should read that we are coming from the about page. Let's try this. So let's click on our home page. And here we have our pop-up. It says you are from about page. Now let's try the same with our services page. If we close this pop-up, let's go to services page. And now if we click back on our home page, a new pop-up should open up and it should say that we are coming from the service page. Let's try that. So we click on home page again. And now we have a pop-up. It says you are from the service page. So this is how we can use the specific page URL selector, and then we can show very targeted pop-ups to our website visitor depending upon from where they are landing on our website. Next we have on any other elements click. So if we turn this on, here it's asking us the element class. So it means we can create any button as our pop-up trigger. So let's try this. So here we have a button. So let's click on this. And here if we scroll down in the advanced section, we can give it a class name. Let's say we call it explore. Let's copy this class name from here. And let's use our already built pop-ups. And in the display condition, we will choose on any other elements click, and here we will enter the class name. So let's update this here and see how it looks in the front end. So now if we click on this explore button, it should open up our pop-up. Now we have used our about us pop-up. So if we come back here in our pop-up builder setting, so instead of this about page text, let's call it something like this so that we can identify it easily. Let's update the page and let's refresh the front end. So now if we click on this explore more button, we can see that our pop-up is here and with our edited content. It means that we can use any element on our website and use that as a pop-up trigger. In the same way, we can use show for specific time. So if we turn this on, we can set the time when we want to show this specific pop-up. So this one is very useful if you are running any online ad campaign. So you can use this option to show an occasion specific pop-up on your site. And after that, we have show X times per user. So from here, we can define number of times, how many times we want to show this pop-up for a particular user. And then we can enter inactive days. That is the time when we don't want to show any pop-up. So that we can enter from here. After that, we have extra options. So here we can decide the animation, which is right now set to fade in. And we have the duration for this animation. And then we have the settings for easing. And here we have an escape button. So we want an escape button as well. So that we can turn off from here. And we also have outer click close content. So that is turned on right now. So once again, if we click anywhere outside the pop-up, it is going to close the pop-up. And after this, we have fix toggle button. So if we turn this on, it's going to fix our toggle button. But this one is applicable if we want to show the toggle button at all. If we are using selected type as hidden, it is not required. So let's turn this off. So this is how we can use the pop-up builder block from the Plus add-ons for Gutenberg and create some amazing looking pop-ups on our Gutenberg WordPress website. And if you want to learn more about Plus add-ons for Gutenberg and its features, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we upload our next video. So that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next video.